Hi guys, JP from FSiPanel. Are you tired of losing time preparing your cockpit to train landings? FSiPanel is then the solution for you. Let me show you in real time how long it takes from sitting on ground, just like now in Gatwick, until you are fully configured on short funnel for your landing. So let's go in the cockpit and have a look at all the steps required and how long it takes to fly an approach. Alright, here we are in the cockpit of our Fenix A320, and as you can see, the FCU is not set. We have the default value. We have nothing in the MCDU, no flight plan, nothing. We have the wrong QNH right now, and basically this is the default state ready to depart. So what you have to make sure is that your engines are running and that your ILS are aligned. Basically, that's the only thing you need to do. If your aircraft is powered off or anything, just go into Fenix right there, go to panel state and select ready. Then make sure that you have engines running and stabilized and that your ILS are aligned. So that's the only thing you need to set. Then an optional thing to do is to set your training weight. I think it's a good thing to do to set some weight for your training instead of the default zero fuel weight that is loaded with the aircraft. So let's say today we would like to practice landing with 130 passengers, 1 tons of cargo and around 5 tons of fuel. I just set that right there in the EFB, and then I see that my plan weight is going to be 60 tons roughly, so I can apply and load the aircraft, and then I will just choose instant. As you can see now on the graph, now the aircraft is correctly loaded. We have our 60 tons right there. Okay, so that's all the steps required on the Airbus to start flying. If we have a quick look at the weather, so you can understand it around what FSiPanel is doing. We have live weather right now, and if I look at the MEDAR for Gatwick, we're expecting the wind to be 290 at 10 knots, broken cloud at 2,000 feet. We have 15 degrees, and QNH is 1009. So that is the actual live weather, the latest MEDAR. Good, so we are clear to go. So I'm going to start FSiPanel and I will show you in real time how long it takes from here sitting on ground to be flying the airplane on short funnel in Gatwick. Okay, FSiPanel has just started. The first thing you want to make sure is that the correct aircraft has been detected. So it's a Fenix A320, that's correct. We are in Gatwick, that's as well correct. And the runway selected is 26 left. Good. If this is not the correct runway, just go ahead and change it to the runway where you want to do your landing. You can even select 26 right now or 08 left, whatever you want. Here, this is the runway where you want to practice. And then we are going to select the position. This is just the quick setup position. We have much more feature in the select fix, but let's go for a short final, which should give us, as you can see in the summary, 4 nautical miles final, and we should be at 1200 feet MSL when we get close to the glide slope intercept. Now, by default, we have flaps full for landing on the Airbus. Let's say you would like to practice a flaps 3, just click here, and now it's going to be flaps 3. We are ready to go, so I will click on move aircraft, and you will see in real time what happened in the simulator. Alright, we are in the simulator again, and the first thing you will see here, the altitude has been set correctly. We have the heading, and now we have the correct QNH, 1009 on both sides. If you look up, you can see that the lights are not set correctly for now. We have still the speed brake is not armed, but the flaps have been moving to 3, so that's good. And now we are just looking at the next instruction. Everything is ready. Set your thrust lever to climb detent to start the approach. So once you do that, make sure you are not interfering with FSiPanel. Let FSiPanel do the job until you get the message that everything is ready. So that's very important. So I'll just take the cabin here. So she's happy. Roger, thank you. All right, so we are ready to go. Let's see what happens when I move the thrust lever to climb detent. Here we go. Aircraft goes in the air. And now you can see the FCU, which is set by FSiPanel. You will see that the autopilot, auto throttle is engaged, vertical speed is set as per the needs, and the aircraft is going down toward 1,200 feet. That is the altitude where we want to start our approach. Now, after a while, FSiPanel will start doing the MCDU. So during that phase, do not touch anything. Now you can see the MCDU is getting programmed. So we can see Gatwick to Gatwick, FSI 001, coast index 30, and the cruise altitude. Now the zero fuel weight is inserted. as well as the CG. Then we need to set the ILS, so FSiPanel will pick up the ILS to 6 left. Then we will activate the approach, so you can see that now. And the weather will be set. So we have the temperature and we have the wind. And we want to do a conv 3, so conv 3 has been selected. If we look up there, we can see land 3, glide slope, landing flap 3 has been selected as well. Here we are below glide slope as it's a short final, so disregard this indication for now. This is completely normal because we are a little bit low to have some space for to intercept the glide slope. Alright, so now the aircraft is in a freeze position, so you can see that even though we are moving forward, FSiPanel will bring the aircraft backward and so on until you are ready to take control. So now you can check all the setup that has been done by FSiPanel. So we can see correct QNH, we can see that now all the lights, all the signs are correctly set. We have the GPWS flaps 3, we have the auto brake to low. We should have the speed brake arm, we have the flaps 3, we have the transponder set, and we have the ILS inserted into our MCDU. So at this stage you could program your MCDU. For example, if you are not flying to the runway right now and we would have a point in the middle here, you could update it. You can set the minimum as per the chart if you want to, and whenever you're ready to fly your approach, you just have to basically hold the brake for 3 seconds to take control of the aircraft and then arm the approach. So always take control of the aircraft first and then arm the approach. So let me show you that. I'm going to hold my brake for 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. And now I have control. I can just arm approach. Second autopilot if required. And we can see that localizer is captured. Glide slope is alive. We are about 4 miles as we wanted. We can see that the runway is clearly in front of us. And now we should be on the PAPI very shortly, which match the glide slope indication. We have glide slope captured, so now we could set missed approach altitude as per the ATC and we can fly our approach. As easy as that. So I'm going to fly the approach and we will see what happens once we are on ground. So it took around 1 minute maximum and you are ready to fly your approach. Alright, here we are on short final. What I will do is a long landing, so we can see that in the landing report. So I'm just going to refuse the ground and to touch down at the very end of the touchdown zone, just before the go around. So we will probably be at around 850 to 900 meters, end of touchdown zone here on runway 26 left. So let's float a little bit. 40, 30, 20, and then refusing the ground. And now I will just bring the aircraft down at 900 meters. Here we go. So I should be very close to the limit. In real life, this will be a go around, but this is for the demonstration purposes. I want to show you the landing report. So we can now stop the aircraft here on the runway. We have spoilers, we have reversers, and this cell is already gone because I'm using my manual braking. All right, so let's stop on the runway here. I will set the parking brake and I can show you now the landing report. All right, here we can see what happened. We have 954 meters long, so that's a long landing as expected, but I was on the center line, which is very good. But in fact, if you have a red there, it means you should have gone around. We can see the information about the aircraft and the weather. We can see all kind of information about your touchdown right there. You can see your weight, the date of the flight. We use flaps 3, auto brake was low. We disconnected the autopilot at 420 feet and we crossed the threshold a little bit high. We should be 50 feet to be on a perfect approach. So that's a little bit high. Now you can see your maximum localizer deviation, maximum glide slope deviation. This is the issue we had on this approach. So I refused the ground and we can see it right there, 1.4 dots above at 0.4 nautical miles. And I had a maximum rate of descent on short final. Now you can see that the speed-wise I was quite nicely stabilized. And this is what happened on my final. This is 1 mile final. When I said I want to go above the glide slope, we can see it right there. And localizer tracking, however, was good. If you want to save the landing report, just click here, and the landing report will be available from FSiPanel landing report menu. Right. That's it for the landing report. Now let's go back in the cockpit and let's say we would like to practice another approach. So let me show you that. So we are back in our cockpit. We still have the flaps 3. We just landed. I set the parking brake. And let's say now I would like to practice vectors to final runway 26 left. So I'll go back to FSiPanel and I will just click the vectors position and off we go. So let's say we would like left-hand vectors. This time we're gonna do a flaps full landing and that's all I need to do. So I'm gonna be on a vectors for the ILS runway 26 left and we should be on an 8 nautical miles final at 2,500 feet. So I'll click move aircraft. And here we go. So the first thing you will see flaps 1 plus F because we're going to be on vectors, and on vectors position we are in intermediate flap setting. The gear will be moved up once FSiPanel takes control and we will see what happens. So everything is ready. Again, I just landed. I will just move my thrust lever to climb and watch the show. Here we go. We are moved in the air and now FSiPanel will set the autopilot, the auto throttle, and we start working on preparing everything for us. So you can see automation is on, vertical speed is on, and now MCDU will get programmed. Here we go in the MCDU. And this is all in real time. Now we have the weight inserted. Then we're gonna have the approach. And we're going to activate the approach. If you are doing something else than vectors or final, the approach will not be activated. This will be your responsibility. That's important to know. All right, so here we go. We are almost ready. You have to wait for the 2,500 feet to capture right there, which is the altitude, the platform altitude for our vectors. And once this is done, we are expecting the message here from FSiPanel to hold the brake to take control. So right now, that's it. I'm ready to fly these vectors to final. I'm in managed speed, so the aircraft is reducing to the S bug right there. And you can see that we have the nice ILS 26 left inserted in the box. At this stage, again, you can change anything you want. FSiPanel is freezing the flight, so you can go ahead and change your nav setting, change anything you need for your approach. You can see the lights are set. This time the runway turn off is off, as well as the taxi light, as the landing gear has been brought up by FSiPanel. So we are perfectly ready to fly. This time the speed brake is retracted, and what I have to do again, hold the brake, 1, 2, 3 seconds. I get the message aircraft ready, and I just have to arm the approach and off we go. We can see now that we are moving forward. We are expecting a left turn very shortly, and this will be our 8 nautical miles. So we expect to be fully established at 8 nautical miles. So basically we should intercept the localizer probably around 9.5 miles, and then by 8 miles we should be fully established on the ILS 26 left. So if we look on the map, we can see clearly that we are moving toward the localizer. We're expecting anytime soon the aircraft to intercept. So we have log blue, glide slope blue. And that's how easy it is to practice approaches using FSiPanel standard edition. Here it goes. Let's see the localizer. Coming very close, 1.2 miles left, 1.1 mile left. And we should get the localizer to capture it now. Let's see how the aircraft is doing that. Here we can see it, localizer blue, and we're expecting lock star when the aircraft captures the localizer. Very close here. Glide slope is alive, lock stars, aircraft is turning inbound. Glide slope is alive, and remember, we programmed 8 nautical miles runways in front of us. So now if I go flaps 2, as we are in managed speed, then the aircraft will reduce the speed and I can fly this approach again very easily. Glide slope is alive, 8 miles we said we should be fully stabilized. You can see 8.5 miles right now. and by 8 miles we will be on our glide slope. Look at this. Glide slope captured, 8 nautical miles, missed approach altitude set. Gear down. Flaps 3. Arm speed brake. Flaps full. Sorry, we do flaps 3 landing, so flaps 3, all set, and that's it. We are on final, everything is set up, and I just have to land again the aircraft. So if you have any question or comment, please drop it in the section down below. This is to show you how easily you can fly approaches with FSiPanel Standard Edition and the Fenix A320. Landing checklist, ACAM memo landing, no blue. We are clear to go. Second landing within 2 minutes. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that video. See you next time. Stay safe and bye-bye. And sorry, I forgot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.